Stop that, R2. It's not very nice to show our friends looking so silly. Besides, you really must begin at the beginning. Now just behave yourself, R2. Don't be so stubborn. You know perfectly well where it began.
Hello there, Brent back with you. I'm sure you're quite familiar with this very famous scene from Star Wars.
How long have you had these droids?
About 3 or 4 seasons.
They're up for sale.
Let me see your identification.
You don't need to see his identification.
We don't need to see his identification.
These aren't the droids you're looking for.
These aren't the droids we're looking for.
He can go about his business.
You can go about your business.
Move along.
Move along. Move along.
Have you ever stopped to wonder, to think how that stormtrooper felt after being the victim of the Jedi mind trick? Have you ever wondered why his cohorts, his co-workers, his co-troopers did nothing and watched him as he was being manipulated by the old hermit? Well, I have. But now, through the medium of cardboard, we might have an answer. Let's take a look. So here we have the 1977 Series 2, card number 94, Interrogated by Stormtroopers. This is the card that captures that moment. And there is the gullible victim of a stormtrooper there on the left with the shoulder, what's that called, a pauldron? What is it called? I can't think what it's called. You know, it's like a leather covering shield for his right shoulder there. That sets him apart as he is the captain or the leader of the platoon. So that's the gentleman that we're going to focus on, and he's the one that was duped by the old wise Jedi Master and his soon-to-be young Jedi learner. This is actually the first time that we see what the Force can do in action, so to speak. I mean, I guess technically the first time we saw it is when Obi-Wan made the weird unearthly sound to scare off the Sand People. But this is the famous, oh, the Force can make you a mind prisoner, can change your mind, can influence you. And this was, we saw that in action. So anyways, that is the scene captured by Topps there. So, you know, so beautiful card in a SGC7. So what happened to this gullible victim of a stormtrooper? Well, I'm sure he went home and the wife asked him, "How was your day, hon?" And, you know, maybe he decided to give details, but I reckon to think that he just wanted to be alone and felt that he had a bad day, didn't meet expectations, let his men down. How is he going to, you know, be a leader when he is so easily led himself? So I'm sure there was an alone time there, and he probably beat himself up, fair or unfair. You know, the Force is what it is, but you know, he's a man who wants to keep his honor and thinks he's good at his job. You know, that's why he climbed the ranks of the stormtroopers and was leading his platoon, trying to get off of Tatooine. You know, he wanted to get to a more glamorous, less sandy destination. So I imagine he beat himself up quite a bit. So I found this card. I've had this card for a couple years now, that proves that he did indeed beat himself up. This is a artist sketch card. It actually was a commissioned card. So I'll go into the details of how these cards are made, but this is from 2009 Star Wars Galaxy Series 5. Those were the droids. Just look at him. Poor guy. Those were the droids. Now, whether that stayed with him or one of his men ratted him out, or if the honor code was kept in place and his men would follow him anywhere and do anything for him, maybe that fact stayed with him. I don't know. Or maybe it got out and maybe he lost his rank, and knowing the Empire in those days, probably would have done something far worse to him. We didn't see the Sarlacc pit till Return of the Jedi, but that was just a stone throw away from where they were. Maybe he, met his 1,000-year doom in the pit. Anyways, the story behind this card, and I'll get to the signatures in a moment. These were sketch cards, and this was a blank card. You can kind of tell with kind of like that radar pattern that's kind of behind him. You see that? So these would come in packs, blank, and then you could commission artists to use this as a canvas, so to speak. So Kevin Liel is the artist's name. He did this sketch. But more importantly is the signature that you see on this card. And that is from a gentleman named Anthony Forrest. And who is Anthony Forrest? Anthony Forrest is that guy. He's the actor that played the Stormtrooper. Not the voice. So many of the actors or stunt doubles that would, not doubles, but stunt men, extras that would play the Stormtroopers, the voices were recorded separately, and there were a number of people that were voices for Stormtroopers. But this is the actor who actually played that Stormtrooper. So Anthony Forrest, those were the droids you were looking for. So this is my first, and I hope of many, Star Wars stories told through cards. Tell me if you like this idea. I have quite a few more that I'm thinking of doing, but I wanted to start with this one, as this is one that I've been wanting to do for a while because I thought it was so unique and such a interesting twist and perspective on such a famous scene from Star Wars. So tell me what you think in the comments down below. Appreciate you all, and we'll see you next time.